Yes, so my name is Hiro, Hiroyuki. I was born in.
Hey, what's up, guys? So today I got Hiro with me. He's a good friend of mine, and he competes in men's physique, and he's a bodybuilder in Japan. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. So, thank you, Ramon, for your time today. My name is Hiro Hiroyuki. So I'm originally from Tokyo, and I was born and raised here till I was 10 years old, basically. Then I moved abroad and came back here when I was 21 years old. And we attended the same university. And after graduating, I got into sales, but I started working, competed in men's physique. And this is my third year competing. And this summer, I was able to win first place in two categories and second place in two categories. So basically, I won four medals. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
So in Japan, bodybuilding is not it's not that common, and usually kids at an early age they're playing a lot of sports, but they're not really pursuing bodybuilding, or even at their university age they're not going for bodybuilding. So what made you get into bodybuilding?
First of all, bodybuilding is actually pretty big in Japan, believe it or not. The natural bodybuilding scene in Japan is really big. And in Japan, I would say natural bodybuilding is bigger than like bodybuilding where they use drugs. In Japan, there's like an actual big audience and market for natural bodybuilding. But of course, I didn't know any of that when I first came back here. Um, the first time I started going to the gym was back in high school. My high school had a weight training class, and that was like a elective class that I took. But then I didn't know what I was doing. Basically, I would like try to bench, but not making any gains. And I joined Anytime Fitness after high school. But the time that I started getting more into fitness, like taking it seriously, was when I came back here and I met a guy, Jordy. So I have a friend who's like really big, and he started taking all of us to the local gym and kind of like training us and showing us how to use the machines. And I really liked it because before that I didn't know what I was doing. I would go to Anytime Fitness and basically use all the machines that's there, and after I'm done using all the machines, I go home. So he showed me how to do like which muscle part to train like separately and stuff. And after that, I joined Gold's Gym in Tokyo, and I've been going there for like 7 years now.
So you mentioned that you did a bit of bodybuilding in your high school, but as far as I know, in Japan, the high schools don't really have that kind of like bodybuilding sessions or classes. I know they have a lot of club activities that are called bukatsu, but I never heard of bodybuilding activities. So the school you went to, was it in Japan?
And I was in United States of America, like state of Georgia. So long story short, when I was here till I was 10, then I moved to a small country in Central America called Costa Rica. And then after that, I moved to United States of America, and I spent the rest of my teenage years. So I went to middle school and high school in America. And in my high school in Georgia, they had a weight training class. It's not bodybuilding class. It's weight training class where it's like PE, but we go into the weight room and we learn how to squat, deadlift, bench press, and use free weights. And yeah, that was my introduction to fitness in a sense, because before that I played baseball, but I didn't play any sports. So that's how I got into it in the beginning.
So since Japan is like a 95 culture, 96 culture, and bodybuilding is not that as common here, and I don't think it's like fully accepted career status that most people have. So do you think like let's say, do you think a foreigner that comes to Japan, or a Japanese person himself, like, do you think they can sustain themselves having like a full-time being like a full-time bodybuilder, and they can have like a full career, and let's say someday even a family?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I know, like, a good friend of mine at the gym is actually like is in his 50s, and he just placed second in like a big competition, GBBF, the natural one. And he has I talked to him about this recently, actually, like last week, and he's in his 50s, and he's working at a big company in like a Sogoshoku, so general affairs. And he has a wife, he has kids, and he comes to the gym. Like, I see him at the gym like a couple times a week, so it's definitely sustainable. But yeah, it takes a lot of sacrifice for sure.
do you think it's you can solely sustain just by bodybuilding without having like a, because you said he has like a side job, right? He has a proper full-time job, but do you think is it possible to solely sustain yourself just by bodybuilding, like the money you get from that in Japan?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you're like a pro level, you have sponsors, yeah. And also, if you're like a personal trainer, you have like a big, nice like clientele, then yes. But just competing, just training, I think is a. You mean like for a Japanese person?
Let's say for a Japanese super, so like you have to be at the highest level, you're saying?
You have to be at the highest level, and you have to be well known so that people actually want to train under you, right? So you have a clientele, or you're big enough that you have sponsors. If you have sponsors, then you already that's your income. Yeah, but it's really hard, I would say.
Well, what are the two main bodybuilding organizations in Japan? Like in the US, you have IFBB.
Right.
So, are there any similar type of like major organizations, major bodybuilding organizations in Japan?
Right. So for bodybuilding, there are two main organizations in Japan. So one is FWJ, the one I competed in for the first 3 years, and basically they don't test for drugs. And to qualify for Olympia, people have to first compete in FWJ, and they get a pro card, and then if they win the pro show, then they qualify for Olympia. And they're men's physique people, classic physique, bodybuilding. And the other one is JBBF, and that's the one that I'm competing in now. And they do test. Not everybody, but people that place high, they test. And this JBBF bodybuilding scene is really big. I would say it's for bodybuilding, it's bigger than FWJ. Natural bodybuilding is really big. So, but for men's physique, FWJ, the population wise, is bigger because people that love men's physique and their dream is to become a pro in men's physique, they compete in FWJ. But also JBBF men's physique people, their top guys are amazing. So those are the two main ones.
So, man, like, are muscular men popular among women in Japan?
Not really, I would say. I mean, it depends on the person's character, of course. But if you're muscular, I think you'd definitely be popular amongst men, like homosexual people. Yeah, I think they like muscular men.
Man, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for coming here, doing the interview, and thank you for sharing a lot of things about bodybuilding that I had no idea about, honestly, because it's an industry that most people haven't heard about much in Japan. So usually it's the 96 salary culture, salaryman culture. So it was great to know a lot about bodybuilding and your background and your experiences. So do you want to say anything to the viewers?
Thank you for your time today. So bodybuilding here, it is a niche, and a lot of people might not even know what men's physique is. Basically, it's like a subcategory of bodybuilding where men wear surf shorts instead of wearing like a bodybuilding pants, and to see who has the best beach body. So that's what I've been competing for the last 3 years. And yeah, if maybe he can post like a link to my Instagram or something. I plan to keep competing in Japan. So if you're interested to know about bodybuilding / men's physique scene in Japan, then
I guess you gotta hit him up if you guys want to learn from the best.
I mean, I'm not like the biggest guy. I don't have like crazy knowledge, but I think I do have a good sense of knowledge about not the market, but how it operates here with these organizations like this. Like if you have tattoos, you can compete in this one and whatnot. So yeah.